All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am listening to President Trump talk about fentanyl right now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Giving a speech here, Trump shocks world with big war declaration, destroys Iran. All fake news. But he's talking about fentanyl right now, right? We haven't even gone into war or any. He's waiting 2 weeks. We would rather have peace than war, but people are pushing for war. It's sad. Also, I want to talk about uh, how he's talking about fentanyl. Well, I agree, Mr. Trump. He said he made a deal with China. China will not send fentanyl. It's not all China's fault. If there wasn't such a high demand by these organization clubs, cartels, whatever, uh, you know, bikers, whatever it is that mainly use it for cooking meth or whatever. If there was not a high demand, China wouldn't be selling anything. But being that your country is in such high demand for this stuff, most of them are addicted to it. Why? Because this stuff was given to them in the military. Speed. Yes, government issued speed. Yeah, our military guys take it. Yes, that is true. If there wasn't such a high demand for it, sir, because now these guys are coming out of the military and they're using meth, which is speed, uh, to stay up and everything. So the demand is so high. Most of these guys, I'm going to be honest with you, yes, they're great soldiers. Thank you for your service. But they are delusional now, Mr. Trump. Do you understand that? They're hallucinating. They're making things up that they think is in their head, but it ain't, sir. And it's caused a lot of damage and a lot of wars that never, they're pushing now. Iran's got uh, a nuclear bomb. They don't have a nuclear bomb. If they did, they would have used it. Common sense, President Trump. If Iran had a nuclear bomb, you bet your booty they would have used it already over there. They don't have capabilities to hit us, but over there, they would have already used it, sir. They don't have no bomb. I think them people probably want peace too. They just want security. They're the only ones there, Mr. Trump, that don't have nuclear capabilities. Israel, oh, they all have nukes over there. Pakistanis, whatever, the sleuthy moothies, whoever they are. These people all have nuclear weapons over there. And they're the only ones that don't. Now, I'd be cutting a deal with them because out of all of them, they're probably the most peaceful because they're just defending themselves, right? I don't know. I'm not all for Iran, but I know one thing: America does not need a war. And I'm just letting you know this, President Trump. If the demand for this crap in your country wasn't so high, China would never be dumping that much stuff here. But because it's just like cocaine back in the 80s and everything. My God, the cocaine's going to come. Well, because of the high demand, the people within your own country, and they're behind the scenes cutting deals with these people, bringing it in as they're looking at you in the Oval Office saying, oh, we don't have anything to do with it. They will lie like rugs, President Trump. And they're probably not even giving you the proper intel. I wouldn't doubt it. Do I want to go to war with Iran? No. Russia or any? No, we don't need war. We are being killed from the people within our own country, not from Iran, China, Russia. It's these people within our own country. And I wish we would have had some help because people probably wouldn't have taken it into their own hands. No, I think it's great that you made a deal with China and they're not going to do it. China knows. Well, I'm sure China told you if it wasn't for your your country asking for it for high demand, we wouldn't be even selling it. But because our country is in high demand of this stuff because they use it for everything. Yeah. Do I blame all of China? China? No, I don't blame China because if there was no addiction, if there was no use for fentanyl, it wouldn't be here in America. And they're lying to you, sir. If Iran had a nuke, you could bet your butt they would have used it over there. They would have already used it. And I don't think they have. They might want small nukes to defend themselves around there, but ballistic to make it over, they'll never have that capabilities. Not unless someone gives it to them. But that's a whole different story. But right now, we're sitting at the table in a good position with Iran. We can become friends with Iran, and they have a lot of resources we need or would help our situation over here. Would I be making friends with them? You bet your butt. And I would bring it to the table and let them know we'll cut a deal with you, but you don't act on anything unless you talk to us. If you get hit by Israel, you get hit by anybody, you talk to us first and let us know what's going on. And then we'll make a decision to see if you can strike back. But here's the thing with the allies, a lot of professionals now are saying they're not really our allies. They're saying they are, but they're really not. We're seeing them do stuff behind our backs and everything, and trying to wiggle woggle around, and they'll tell you one thing, but behind the scenes they're pumping in a bunch of fentanyl. It's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. And if there was no demand for it, listen, Mr. Trump, you hit it right on the button. These people are using STDs, sicknesses, cancer, AIDS, you name it, as a weapon. As a weapon. They might not die tomorrow, but eventually they're going to die. Now, what do I consider that? Manslaughter, murder. No, they're not going to die today, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, but their life could have been longer. But you folks contaminated that person or got them sick and you kept it quiet and all this, and they pulled that military stuff. Uh, you know, don't ask, don't tell. And that's what caused the demise of your country, sir. Yes, yes, it caused the demise. Many innocent people were contaminated for no reason because that's how these sick people are, sir. They think it's a joke. Well, go give him herpes. Go over there, and these people don't realize you don't even have to have sex with people anymore to get a disease. You can get a disease going to the doctor's office. Why? Well, because they don't properly contaminate. They don't properly contain it and clean it. Their offices and everything, right? Now, yeah, blue light inside of doctor's office lit up like a Christmas tree. What do you want? What do you want? They think they're going to vaccinate out of everything. There's a vaccination for it. These people won't even clean their own businesses, President Trump. Do you understand that? They're putting napkins out in the by the door. Wipe down your own stuff. Are you kidding me? They don't even care. Why? Why pay for proper people to come in and disinfect the place properly once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever? Why? They'll just use the citizens to do the work. They'll put a bunch of alcohol wipes on by the door and say, wipe down your own shopping cart and your own merchandise. Instead of spending their money to do it, they're using the citizens to do their jobs. Making tons of money and they can't even disinfect their grocery stores properly. They have the citizens, the customers doing it for you. Right? Put on a mask. There's a bunch of masks by the door. Put on a mask and then a big container of alcohol wipes to wipe down your own stuff. A sign right there about it. They can't. This is the problem. Lazy. Oh yeah. Well, big business. You give them that much power, and they won't do shit. They'll have other people do it. Right? They'll have their own customers doing scrubbing floors and shit for them. So this whole thing is China, China. We're tired of blaming every country. We're tired of it. It's not these countries. And if it is these countries, whose fault is it for letting these people come over here? Our own government that opened up the doors to everything. Yeah, very, very dangerous times for America. Now, me being that I was raised by military people, whether they were my real family, whatever, whether I was kidnapped, whatever, I would never attack my beloved military. I was never in the military. Never. I wanted to be. I had a mental problem at a young age. I even went and registered, right? Because I was proud of my family. But if my family were still alive, they'd be going, oh, these people are nuts. These people are completely crazy. Yeah. See, my family, sir, went into the military when they came home. They didn't create organizations. They didn't sell drugs and do stuff. They got jobs. They already knew a trade from being in the military. So they were mechanics. They worked on machinery. They built things with their hands. They didn't create organized crime families and kill their own people. I'm sorry, President Trump, but that's the truth. Right? My family didn't come back from the military and create the Hells Angels. I'm sorry, sir. That they've been lying to you. My family didn't come back and start these organized crimes syndicates. I'm sorry. They got jobs and they were law-abiding citizens. I'm really sorry about that, sir, but they took you for a ride. They took us all for a ride, President Trump. Hell, my grandfather was so military. He was a military police officer, and then he was in the Air Force, but then he became a military police officer. Um, and you had to be a real tough cookie to do that, right? He drove tanker trucks. He did everything in the Air Force. Uh, yeah, my grandfather. My father was big into radio controls and all kinds of stuff, music, all kinds of stuff. So we didn't come back and create. My family didn't come back and create these organizations. They despised it, right? How could they wore a military uniform? How could they be coming home and doing this to their own people? And that's exactly what happened. And that's what's going on today, sir. So I ain't blaming China for if there was no demand for fentanyl from your corrupt government citizens or whatever it is, there would be no demand for fentanyl. But like I said, they use it for everything in the medicine or whatever. It was like the cocaine uh, in the 80s, right, with Pablo. Uh, if there wasn't such a high demand in America, there would have been no cocaine here or whatever, right? There would have been, but not on such a high demand like there was. But I wouldn't go to war with Iran. I would sit and make peace with them, right? I would. I would. They have something we need, resources. Now, whether you need them or not, I don't know. But you have to take in consideration they're the only country out there without nukes. They're surrounded by them, and they're always getting hit. And Israel's this time started the whole thing and then claimed they had nuclear capabilities, but they don't because they would have used it. They would have used it. And actually, after all the years of being tortured and all this and that, uh, I wouldn't have blamed them if they did, right? I wouldn't. I mean, I've been tortured myself, and if you're an American, you've been abused your whole life, just about. So it's no biggie to me, but I can understand what they're saying. And do I side with Iran? No, but they do have a bunch of oil, and they do have a bunch of stuff that we could use. Right? I don't know. I've seen Putin's threatening to come into the war, but I don't think so. I think it's all a bunch of hoopla, and I would get them all at the table. Putin's a very smart man. Hey, if America ain't the leader, that's okay. We're still the biggest, baddest fighting machine ever. Uh, Let the rest of the world handle it. Give them the debt. There you go. There's the debt you can have now, Russia and all these other countries. You want to be the powerhouse? Go ahead. And even if you are the powerhouse, we still have the baddest military around, Mr. Trump. I wouldn't worry about it. I'd worry about fixing America and getting these people out of our country. And yes, some of them are white. Why? Because the demand is there. Most of these guys that came out of the military are now in these secret societies or motorcycle clubs or whatever. And they were using meth or speed, but government speed in the military. They came home and they had addictions and they started their clubs and whatever. And yeah, they're probably all hyped up on that shit. Meth, whatever. I would never attack my country. I would never attack any government or police. Um, so that'll surely get you killed or in jail. So I've attacked nobody. I'm making movies here. That's about it. I'm voicing my opinion, which is the freedom of speech. Now, I don't have $1 billion, $250 like these movie companies that can say and do whatever they want on screen. No, I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been treated the way I was because I'm a poor dude and making a movie or trying to on YouTube. Right? That's the contract. You're supposed to be a creator, an entertainer. No one's been hurt on this set except for me by other people. No animals have been hurt by me on this set. So your demand, your supply and demand, you got a problem. The demand is in America and the supply is coming from other countries. What do you do? Well, I wish we can say shut the borders to everything, nobody in, nobody out. We're going to fix America. Get rid of scumbags that laugh. They've been laughing at these people as they killed them and poisoned them and gave them sicknesses. They've been laughing in front of their faces like nothing's going to happen. Right? And yes, it's bikers. It sure is. That's what they're saying. Right? The road to nowhere leads back to what's been all over the news in Indiana and in the newspapers. And if you're saying it's a lie, President Trump, it ain't a lie. It is the truth. It's very bad. And they're lying right to your face, sir. They're yes men. They're men that are telling you it's all a lie. There ain't no anthrax or ain't. Well, there's anthrax in Indiana down south. There was even a big program about it on the news. KKK or whatever, and these biker associations down there or whatever were extracting rice and hell. They were doing that up here in this apartment complex. I think 50 pounds of casserole beans they were Who knows? I don't know. But this ain't my disease. This ain't my addiction. And you can send that back down to Texas and you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. So, yeah, I really don't think you should be listening to your own people are saying they don't have a nuclear device yet. And it was all a lie. Your own people, your own your own intelligent agencies that you put in place are telling you they don't have no nuclear weapon out there. If they did, they would have used it. There would be signs of it. They definitely would have used it if they would have got attacked. And you know, all the other countries have small nuclear devices over there. Uh, they would have used it. They're trying to suck our resources. They're trying to suck up our ammo. They're trying to suck up our money. Why? War. We get involved in it, we'll be having to pay to rebuild it, and their people will have to reimburse their people for. We can't even take care of our own country, sir. And we're going to end up paying to rebuild all that crap after it gets wiped out. The American citizens will end up having to pay. We can't afford it. We can't even build our own homes. We can't even have a piece of the American pie because they steal that from us with all this law and words and terms that these people don't understand. And they take their land and they take their houses. It happened to me. Yes, I called in. You're dang right I did. You're dang right I did. After my grandfather and the people that were in the military passed away, it was like these people knew it and they just wrecked my whole life and did everything. Why? Because the people that were protecting me passed away. My beloved military left us high and dry. Yeah. Don't ever leave a soldier behind in a foxhole alone. Right? And we will not leave any military family behind and alone without protection and security. That's what I'm running on in 2028. Right? Yeah, I'll run for president. Well, I really can't because they've already made up so much junk on me and everything. There's no way I'd probably, they knew I was getting ready to run. So they already put in place, tapped my phone, got all the stuff just in case there was a good chance that Johnny Kramer got in the White House. There is no justice in America, folks. Your bureaucracy, your whatever you call it, it's a bunch of bull crap, folks. Bull crap. It's power in numbers, these secret societies, and these gangs and clubs. It's terrorism. They're all terrorists. They're all on a list. Every one of these organizations. And they're getting real close to you, President Trump. They're using you, President Trump. They're using you. They used me. They used everybody. We even went to the people that we thought would save us, would help us, the police, the district attorney in this small little town, right? No one helped. I had to call Wachovia Bank myself. I had to call Wells Fargo. I had to call all these banks and track my own mortgage down, where even these banks said, well, it was a fraudulent loan. They knew it. They knew it, right? They would never be able to pay for that loan because it was a balloon mortgage for the first 5 years, and you were already in over your head and everything, and they knew that and seen it and took a chance. disability, retard is what they call us out here. Uh, and they stole everything. And I worked. I just recently went on disability, uh, but I worked for a living with a disability my whole life, which the doctors were kind of shocked. They're like, "You gone through your whole life like this?" I'm like, "Yeah." Everyone told me that there was a problem with me, right? That I wasn't right, that something was different about me, but that was because of my accident, my concussion and everything. But I learned. I learned. They were carpenters. They were iron workers and a little bit at it. I worked at, doing a lot of jobs uh, as I grew up in life, and I'm in my mid 50s now. And yeah, it's just you know they just now recently put me on disability because they did all these doctors and all this stuff they did. I had to see like 5 doctors. That's horrible. I mean, the hoops and jumps and paperwork you go through is unbelievable. I wouldn't have made it without my family member going through it because it was just my brain was so messed up. It was just unbelievable. But I wish that on no man. I wish none of this stuff on any man or woman, any of the things that these people been doing, this white race that has taken over America or whatever, they killed their own white people. Hell, they killed these little girls down there and a whole bunch of kids and everything. Well, I know you won't ever see this video, President Trump, but we have to stand alone here. I'm a loner. I'm on my own. I don't have a bunch of people around me helping me. Um, and we have to shoot first and ask questions later, like Grady Judd or Judd Grady or whatever that sheriff says. I agree 100%. Shoot first. Someone comes banging on your door, all pissed off and everything. They're not there to have tea and crumpets with you. They're there to hurt or do violence or whatever. Uh, yeah, I agree 100%. The whole world's scared. Everyone in America is scared. And then and what does that do? Well, that supplies the gun sales, right? Put everybody in a frenzy so we can sell all these guns, right? There's nothing wrong with having a weapon at home, but uh, some of these people went overboard. Well, there you go, Mr. Trump. I'm also a voter of you, although I don't agree on everything you do. Uh, I did vote for Mr. President Trump, and ever since it's been hell. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you what, if it ain't the Democrats, it's these cults or whatever. I do believe it is the Democrats or whatever. We're caught, really. Germany was no different back in the 40s when we were at war, or 30s or whatever. That's pretty much what we're seeing here in America right now. Is the same thing they went through over there. So there you go, President Trump. Have a great day. I had no idea about this July 10th or whatever it is. I looked all over the calendar for it. I didn't see it, so I was concerned because my bank was shut down. I thought they were hitting the bank. I thought they were hitting the bank. Now I'm having trouble with my insurance agency for my car, President Trump. They were supposed to take money out yesterday, but like they do every month. But I just called today and they didn't take the money. I don't know. Maybe someone called. Here's the problem: the phone. They got so many people tapping the phones around here that I wouldn't doubt it if someone called in and canceled my car insurance. Well, anyway, sir, yeah, that's how bad it is here. People ain't getting their mail here. Mail's getting thrown all. I walked into the hallway and there was a stack of rules, papers scattered all over in the hallway of rules here. It's just like they threw it out in the hallway. What rules? Who cares, right? Yeah. Well, sir, if I don't make it, at least you know uh, that these people pulled the wolves over your eye and it's corrupt. God bless. I hope we all make it. Hopefully, one day I make it to the White House. I might call you, Mr. President Trump. If I can get a line out, if I can get a secure line out, I'm going to have to go use a payphone to call the White House just so I can get a secure line and call the White House. And I might leave a message and say hello to Mr. Trump. There's no law against it, folks. You can call the White House and leave a message. Yeah. And they've been hitting us with all kinds of electronic devices and microwaves and everything, Mr. Trump. It's just unreal. They gone wrong. America's gone rogue. All right, folks. I'll be back. This world hates me as they hated the father. And they'll probably hate all of us, President Trump, as they hated the father. And we're pretty much tired, sir, of this two-headed beast within our country. Actually, it's grown into a five-headed beast, sir. If it ain't the liberals, it's the left wingers, the right wingers. It's just nuts. It's nuts. Peace is what we want. Now a lot of people are wishing they moved to different countries because it's so peaceful over there now. And the crime is so down. It's just unbelievable. All right, folks, you have a good day. I'll be back later with some outdoor video. Now keep an eye on the weather. We still have tornado chances today. Hot weather coming and stuff. So be very safe. God bless. I got to get back to my movie. Have a good day, sir.